Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Digital Den. Today we are honored and we are grateful to be joined by representatives of our golf team, our Coach Cruz and Senior Seth Shelley.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, first off, thank you guys so much for joining us. So I just gave your names out, but go ahead and introduce yourselves. We'll start with Coach.
My name's Coach Cruz, Derek Cruz, second year head golf coach, boys head and girls head golf coach here at Spencer County High School. I've been at Spencer County for 12 years, but only been coaching the golf team for 2. So.
My name's Seth Shelley. I'm a senior here. I've been in Spencer County my whole life. Been playing golf majority of my life, and it's been a big part of everything that I do. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It seems like you guys get the short end of the stick as far as seasons go, with football going on and back to school, and there's a lot of buzz. A lot of people forget about golf. So just tell us how the season's been going.
Well, we've been going at it since middle of July, so it's been it's a short season, but it's packed full of matches and tournaments. I think we have 14 tournaments scheduled, and we've played all across the state. And I think we're in this Saturday will be our last regular season tournament, and then regions that come up. So.
And for those who don't know, Seth is an absolute dog when it comes to golf. And this is your senior year, so pretty big deal. How's your season been going?
I would describe my season with just consistency. It's been a consistent season. 13 tournaments, I think, as Coach Cruz said. I think 12 of those 13 I finished in the top 10. So very consistent tournament season. But as far as, wins go, I don't have any wins this season yet. It was a lot of pressure added from last year having a big season. But like Coach Cruz said, we got a tournament on Saturday, which is a big one to get a win. And then regionals is really big. It's a competitive tournament. I'd like to be the first to do it from Spencer County, win the regional tournament. That'd be awesome. And then kind of set the stepping stones to go to state.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of my goal.
I mean, we're all rooting for you. For those who can't see, we actually have a live studio audience here for Seth especially. He's got a lot of support, but of course he's not our only player. Give us a rundown of the team.
Well, with our tournament team, they're all seniors. Seth, obviously, Evan Coffey, Brady Waldridge, Jackson Toby, and Aaron Alcorn are our top 5 guys. And then we have another senior, Anthony Garner. That's I keep telling everybody I wish he was not a senior. I wish he was a junior because he just kind of got the short stick being the 6th best golfer in his class. So I mean, he's a very good golfer too, very capable. So
yeah. And then obviously you mentioned we have a girls golf team as well. So just tell us a little bit about how that team looks.
Yep, we do have one girl on the girls golf team, Emma Bruner. She's a senior. We would like to have more girls come out for the team once she graduates. So it didn't go away. So if anybody's interested, please feel free to reach out. And she will be competing next week or the 17th in regionals as well.
Okay, awesome. Seth, I kind of want to go to you, being your senior year. How has the team building and camaraderie, how has that grown over the years, and how is it this year?
So, I've been playing varsity golf since I was a freshman. And that's big. Our team has grown. It's always a very close-knit team. Every year that I've been on a part of the team, everybody's always close. We're all friends. We kind of leave the personal side off the golf course. We're all friends when we get out there, and we all are supporting each other. I was talking with Mr. Howie earlier, and we were talking about how even in middle school, our teams are always close, and we're always building each other up, and we're always supporting each other. So that helps us more than anything. I would say having synergy as a team and kind of even if somebody's not doing something correctly, we all know that we can build together to fix that issue. Yep. So I would say that our team being a close team is one of the biggest things about the golf team, just how close we are.
Absolutely. So just for educational purposes, I would say, what does a normal golf event look like? Where is that held? How have they been this year?
Well, they're held all over the state. Matches are usually consistent during the week, and it's a 9-hole thing. For our team, we kind of use that as a JV type deal because we have a lot of really good golfers, and we try to play as many tournaments as we can. The tournaments are all across the state. They're 18-hole matches, and there's usually probably upwards of 20 to 25 teams in a tournament, so it's very competitive. And you get all state points as a team and as individuals. So just kind of considering how you finish. But like he said, he won a couple tournaments last year, and has been very consistent this year. And I think our whole team's been pretty solid this year.
And as he also mentioned, regionals are coming up. So just kind of a little preview for that. What does that look like? When is that, and where is that?
It'll be September 17th, and it'll be at Heritage Hill this year. Last year, it was at E-Town Country Club, but it's back to Heritage Hill, which I think it benefits us because our kids have played there a lot. But it'll be regionals, and then if we make it out, they take the top 2 teams, and the second round of state, or the first round of state, will be in Northern Kentucky at the Willows. So
Right.
it's a tough course.
Absolutely. So, Seth, this one will be for you since you are a player. A lot of times golf is, I would say most popularly a hobby, something you do on the side, retirement, all that. But you are competing in it, and, you found success over your years. What is competing in golf? How does that differ from just playing for fun? What does it take to be a successful golfer?
Golf is a very complex game. A lot of people say that, the game, if you have the talent, the game is really in between your ears. It's a very mental game. So how you can control your emotions throughout the round is going to be a lot different when you're in a tournament versus playing with your buddies. When you're playing with your buddies, you hit a bad shot, you don't really think about it. That kind of exits your mind, and you're just still having a good time. When you're in a tournament play, you kind of realize, all right, I've hit a bad shot. This time that I really got to lock in, because my team, not only is my team kind of hoping that I'm going to play good today, but I want to get a win personally. So I would say that it's all mental. That's the difference. Is one, you're having a really good time on a bad or a good shot. Doesn't really affect you as much as when in a tournament, you kind of either a bad or a good shot, you just have to flush it. It's the next shot, next shot, next shot. So I would say that's the big difference. Is definitely the mental game going into it.
Absolutely. And, Coach, golf is a very individual sport. You're out there and you're basically playing your own game. And other team sports, a lot of the success is attributed to team. So my question for you is, how does a team play into golf success? And then what is the strengths of this team going down the list of our players?
Golf is a team game. And for one instance, we had a kid that was a Governor Scholar half the year this year, so we actually got to play some of the younger kids, and it actually benefited us because we realized that we found our 5th golfer that was a senior. It was a pretty big surprise, Aaron Alcorn. First year was last year. He stepped up, and he shot in the 70s a couple of tournaments this year, so that's really good for a 5-man. When it comes to strengths of our team, I think senior leadership. I think all 5 of our guys are seniors. Now, next year is going to be a little different story. They're leaving me with kind of a rebuilding, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But it's also nice to coach these guys because they're all great kids. Like there's never any behavior problems. I look at grades; they're some of the top kids in our school, and they're very talented golfers. So
yeah, absolutely. So just a little background on yourself. How did you get to this point of being Spencer County's golf coach?
Well, I was a football coach, and me and my wife got married, and I just couldn't put the time in that it takes to be a football coach. So the Oldenbachs were the golf coaches, and they were stepping down. Sandy retired. John was just stepping down, and they kind of talked to me and talked me into taking it, which they left me in a great situation. It was. I stepped in. I tell them all the time. They gave me the Corvette, the keys to the Corvette. I'm trying not to crash the program. So it was a great situation. I've really enjoyed it. It's a lot different than football, but it's a good different. It's just a different type of kid. It's just different. It's been a good though.
Absolutely. So, Seth, obviously, it's going to be hard to badmouth a coach right in front of him, but how has he stepped in? How has that transition been?
So, like he said, John and Sandy Odenbach were phenomenal golf coaches. They did everything they could. Even if, there was the side of where they didn't know the mechanics of the golf, maybe the best, they tried their best. So my dad's also a coach, and, he helped us on that side, but Sandy and John were really the key success in handing that over to Coach Cruz, and he has done a phenomenal job with just the smoothest pass over, like you wouldn't even have known. Really, you wouldn't even have known that the team has changed at all, because he's done so much for our golf team already, like giving us a locker room and really putting all the time and effort that he has out of any day into our golf program, and he knows how capable we are of being such a good golf team, and he kind of shows that with how much time and work that he puts in. So I would say that he's done an absolutely phenomenal job on the transition.
Absolutely. And then a little background on yourself. It is your senior year. You've been golfing for a long time. I know that because I personally know you. But what's your journey in golf and inspirations outside to get you into it? What's that been like?
So my dad's a big golfer. So at a young age he got us all into it. I've been playing since I was about 6 years old. Kind of the competitive standpoint started in about 5th grade. I played for the middle school team whenever we had the Spencer County middle school team. So I played with that. We had junior tournaments all throughout there, so I was playing around the state in those kind of tournaments. And then 8th grade year, I guess it would have been 8th grade that I became varsity. Our team just wasn't, we weren't as well-rounded as, we knew we could be. But we built on that the next 4 years. So me as a player, I've been playing competitively for I'd say 5 or 6 years now, really like competitively. And that's, like I said, influenced by my dad and big time by my brother, who is a very good golfer and very into it. So, having that competition with him and my dad and somebody that's going to push me all the time, that was big. So I would say it's been influenced by my family as well as, just everybody around me in my life. He's kind of supported me through that while also putting people in my life that kind of push me to be the best golfer.
Absolutely. And Coach, I'll kind of ask you a similar question about Seth. You always want your seniors to be not only good at the sport, but also able to lead and be good people. And, I might be a little biased, but I think Seth is, excellent at those things. So what has been your experience with Seth as a senior especially? What does he bring to the table outside of being a really good golfer?
I feel like he's like the nucleus of that group. Like I know he's always having people over his house, and like you said, his dad's our assistant coach. Great family. I mean, you can't ask for any better family in our community. But he leads by example. If I need something, I know I go to him, and he kind of voices it through the team. So he's a good messenger for those guys. I think those guys respect him.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's been golfing a long time, longer than you've been coaching here. What have been those lessons in your short time that you've learned here? What's been the biggest thing you've taken?
Well, when they first asked me to do the golf team, I was like, well, I'm not naturally a golfer. Like, I was just getting into it. I had a lot of extra time on my hands from not coaching football, but I caught the bug. And now I try not to coach a lot of their fundamentals. A lot of the younger guys I work with and, teach, from the ground up. But I kind of coach like the mental side when they're on the course, keep your head, little things like that kind of probably get away from them when they're, out there playing. So.
Yeah. And this year especially, this is the big year, 2024. 2023, I guess. But what is the biggest thing from this year that you kind of will hold on to, cherish, like a memory or a lesson you've learned?
Well, I think going into the season, redemption was a word I used because last year I think the region got away from us a little bit. We lost for those who don't know, we lost in sudden death playoff hole. And looking back, and I know I've talked to him, I've talked to a couple other players. I feel like they know that we didn't play our best golf that day. But that's kind of golf is kind of, it ain't like football or basketball where if you have an off night, you get to come back. Like in region, It's just, if you have an off, a lot of times, sometimes the best teams don't win. So I think they've been focusing on really, putting their best foot forward, preparing for the region this year.
Yeah.
So.
And if I remember correctly, we lost by one stroke.
To even get out as a team. He made it all the way to state last year as an individual. We had 3 total make it to semi-state, which is the second round. And that was coming off of 2 regional championships. And that was my first year. We lost in sudden death. So I was like, so this year I really tried to make an emphasis on let's prepare and go in and just give it our best goes.
Yeah. So, Seth, setbacks and comebacks is a big story in team sports. What has been the motivation this offseason coming back in?
Yeah, a lot of motivation. Like he said, building off of regionals, that was a tough loss. It was a tough loss on my part, on everybody's part. We all could have played better that day, and it was a big time letting our guard down type situation. We kind of went in thinking we are the best team, and we're going to make it no matter what, and then reality kind of hits you. So that's been some motivation for me, knowing that no matter what, somebody can have a better day than you. as long as you can, fight through it with your head and know that you're a good player in the end, you truly can play well. But I also think like the motivation has been having such a well-rounded season last year. People putting that pressure, and that's what I want to feed off is that pressure to win tournaments, to play good in tournaments, and to really have an even better season. It was a season that was off to a slow start, but at the same time, I know that eventually I am going to start picking up and winning tournaments. But like I said, consistency was key for me this year, so that's been key in motivating me to I've been so close but yet so far, so that's been a big motivation for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for him not winning a tournament, he is still in the top 10 in all state points in the whole state. So that's really that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's kind of difficult to understand that when you say you're not winning tournaments. A lot of people will be like, oh, well, whatever. But I mean, golf is just different in a lot of ways. And this year, it's been a long season, and it's not over yet. But Seth, for you looking back your senior year so far, what has been maybe that memory or lesson that you've learned?
I would say the lesson that I've learned is, don't get too comfortable. As far as you might be playing at your best level, but the next week you get too comfortable, and then that's kind of taken and sweeping under the rug. So, you don't want to ever feel like you are too comfortable in the spot, especially as being a senior. You want to be somebody that's looked up to, but somebody who's going to put in the effort every single week and is going to work super hard. So I would say the big lesson I've learned is you just can't get too comfortable at that top spot because it can be taken very fast. As long as you believe in your own heart and you really work for what you believe in, I truly believe you can be such a good player, but it's all about not getting too comfortable.
Yeah, and unfortunately we can't get every golfer on the podcast, but with the platform that we have, speaking on behalf of all of them, doing your best salesman impression, why should people come out for region? Why should people support? What would be your sales pitch to the student body?
I would say that like you said, our golf team is swept under the rug sometimes. We forget about it, but it is a big part of our success. There's a lot of people that play it in our school, and it's growing throughout the school. From not just from my friends, but I had lower classmen come and talk to me all the time. So I would say that a reason that you should support our golf team is because one, we need it because that support is huge going in, and two, it's a great game. It's a great game to get to know, and it's a great thing to really have in your life. At the same time, it's going to help our team be the most well-rounded that we can going into such a pressure-set tournament. So I would say that support is huge for our team, knowing that the school really wants us to win, and just like any of the other sports going into a postseason playoff, they know that the school is backing them, and that's big for our team. We want to know that our school really does care about our team and know that we can win regionals.
Absolutely. And then, Coach, kind of a similar question, maybe to fans and supporters, but also just to students who are thinking about getting into the golf program. Your best sales pitch to the viewers.
Well, I've been really excited because we've had some new golfers come out within the last few weeks, and a lot of them play other sports, so that's been really exciting. But golf's a game you can play, forever. Like, so I always look back and my buddies had picked it up late in life, and we were like, man, I wish I'd played earlier in life. I'd been so much farther along in my game. For anybody looking to play golf, I think it would be worthwhile to come out as soon as you can. I mean, and another exciting thing that we have going on that he was talking about, how he played in middle school, how we had a middle school team. We're in the process of hiring a middle school coach. So we're going to try to get kids out earlier in the elementary schools so we at least know who's coming up the ranks and not wait till they're freshmen. And then by the time they figure out the game, they're already graduating. So we're trying to get them involved earlier so they can progress more than just 4 years. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And then reminder on regionals, when, where?
Region is September 17th, Heritage Hills, Shepherdsville. I think it's free to get in. So the student body, if you would want to come along and walk the course, watch our kids, they're very talented. Another thing I'd like to there's senior night is this next Thursday coming up.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be cool to have a gallery like of our whole school, or just anybody who want to come out. I think it'd be cool to come up and support these guys.
Yeah. And then where's that?
Tanglewood.
At Tanglewood.
Tanglewood,
Okay.
yep.
next Thursday at Tanglewood. What time?
Kick off at like 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Yeah.
4 o'clock next Thursday at Tanglewood, senior night. Well, look, we are really grateful to have you guys on the podcast. And
I appreciate it.
yeah.
I've been really impressed. I'm bragging to Coach Howie. I've watched a few of the podcasts. I'm impressed with the kids that are doing the interviews. They've all been composed. Talking's not my strong suit, so it's kind of getting out of my own.
Well, I think you guys did
It's,
absolutely amazing. I mean,
been a very cool thing you are doing here.
yeah, I mean,
For sure.
just trying to get a platform for programs like golf, and I think we're gonna get some students out there for you guys. So I'm excited. Thank you guys so much for coming out. So really appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Really appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in as well. You're probably on our YouTube right now, but if you will also, you would think I would know this by now. Digitalden.schs on Instagram. Head on over there and give us a follow and stay in tune and reach out. Wish you good luck to our golf team. Come out and support. Really grateful for having you guys. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.